Hello there. Um, so I'm back. I'm back. If you didn't see what was happening at the end of last stream, basically, Pokemon Silver really fucked up. Now I thought it was the cartridge, like the cartridge just, was a little faulty. I don't think that really is it actually, because I was putting it in one of my like GBAs, and that GBA has a slightly faulty power on switch. Like I put it on, it kind of flickers a little bit. I've read somewhere recently, like after, really just right after the stream, that turning off and on a Game Boy too fast can cause a save to wipe. So that's that's a little bit of a thing. I did end up repairing one of the... I actually have... Okay, so I have 4 GBAs, if you don't count the Game Boy player. 2 of them I've been using throughout this to, like, do trades and stuff. My oldest GBA, and then there's one I got at a store. And it was the one I got at... Every single one of them are GBA SPs, except for the one I got at the store, which was the original GBA, and that's the one that I just wanted to check the game in. So that one I'm probably not going to use just in case. Also, it runs on batteries. I don't really trust non-internal batteries these days. But anyway, so progress is actually a non-issue anymore. Well, I mean, it could still be an issue, but it's not a current issue. I actually traded a lot to get back to silver. And the vast majority of the totals in Gen 2, I actually, I just traded around so that pretty much every game has the same, set of Pokemon, with, a couple small exceptions. Things are actually even better than when I left it off. Just took, a little bit of grinding, and I'm back at, the same point, I beat 6 gyms, the Rocket Hideout's done, all that stuff. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do in this playthrough, or in this stream mainly, is get to the SSN. I definitely want to beat Misty, because I want to actually use this Dratini that I have. I'm still continuing this tradition. Not necessarily by design this time. It was just because I had something to pick up, and there was a Wendy's not too far, so I don't really need anything from any of these routes. Blue is pretty fine for quite a while, because again, it inherited everything from yellow and red. So it has an Ekans, it has a Sandshrew, it has both Nidorans, it has Jigglypuff, it has Clefairy. Well, actually, okay, no, actually, sorry, that's not actually necessarily true. You can see my totals down there. I don't know if they're perfectly accurate. I don't know if the blues are exactly where they should be. Definitely preferable to mark something blue than mark it black, because you never know. The order of the Pokedex is so bizarre. Like they put Clefairy and Clefable before Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff, despite the fact that it's obviously grilled. But that's not even the worst thing, because that's kind of those are still kind of close to each other. You can still find them within proximity. Mount Moon's right there, Route 3's right there. That's fine. But then of course you have Vulpix and Ninetales that just kind of come out of nowhere. But then you'd think, oh, well, okay, well if you have Vulpix and Ninetales here, surely there must be Arcanine and Growlithe somewhere close by. But no, they're pretty far away, more in a more appropriate section. It only just now dawns on me just how much of a bad position you are if you get Cerulean really underleveled. Because if you try to go north, your rival's there. And you have the gym trainers in Misty, but that's 3 trainers. If that's not good enough for you, then you're just kind of trapped. And if you missed anything back in Mount Moon, you can't go back until you get cut, which you're allowed to use after beating Misty. Like, so even if you are able to go to Bills, if you can't be Misty, you kind of don't have many options. I don't think necessarily poorly designed is the right word, but it's like, it's a bit like, it's a pretty bad situation to be in. And I know that in Platinum, the way they changed one of the rival fight locations to be like inside one of the transition guard houses, that was like a pretty good call, because like you'd be stuck trying to fight your rival at that point in a Heart Home. Okay. Paris is like has such a weird sprite in this gen, but it's not like oh, it just looks weird like a lot of the other ones. It's one of those things where like you look at it, and if someone said like to say like, oh, is there like a specific detail that's wrong, you're just like, I don't know exactly. Like, it's sort of hard to see what you're looking at. I think it's pretty cool that like all of those like little mid-floor rooms are like visible on the same map. Like I know they had to put them somewhere, so they just put them really close to each other. But it's cool because like you can see the others. I got some things. I got this thing from Amazon, just like a component splitter. So like it actually like amplifies the signal. Hey, okay. Pretty good. If it's like too bright, I can tone it down. There we go. See? Wasn't that bad. Alright. It's kind of silly, the items that aren't like on a tile on the floor, they're actually like in the wall. Like you have to look at a wall and then press A. I'm out of fries, so now I gotta go for the burger. Alright, I think all three files have officially made it out of Mount Moon. Ah. Nice. You know, there's no asterisks in this game of any kind. Like, there's really not that many special characters either. When this guy says splash in his text box, does he literally say splash? Or does he splash, like, the water? I mean, I think it's somewhat reasonable to assume that if you see the word sigh in a text box, the character is sighing. I feel like, you know, Gen 1, the text boxes were small, but they conveyed enough, at least in the battles, of what, you know, what needs to be said. Like, it would say, for example, like, Squirtle used Bite, Squirtle's attack missed. It's like, oh, okay, you know, good. That conveyed everything we need to say there. And then, like, later gens, I don't remember which, I think starting in Gen 3, they, like, extended that dialogue box to say, like, the attack of the foe, like, or the attack of the player's Squirtle missed or something. Like, why? Like, just because you can add more words now doesn't mean you should. You could even probably just abridge everything to, but it missed. And it would have been like, oh, okay, but it missed. There we go. I understand everything from, like, 3 words. And enough context clues. Not to mention, I don't really understand why Leech Life. Like, it has a unique dialogue for missing Leech Life. It says the opponent evaded the attack. But that's not the case, as far as I'm aware, for any other move in the game. Why specifically Leech Life? I think sometimes it also plays when the move does, like, the move would hit, except the opponent's already been Leech Life. So I mean, you could have just said, oh, opponent's already seated. But, like, I don't know, man. I don't really know the logic behind the choices that they made in the game. To be honest, considering Gen 1, I don't think I possibly could. I'm not just talking about, like, the technicals, although that too is also kind of silly. more just the actual design decisions. Like how bug is weak to poison, but also poison is weak to bug. Like what the first way around, bug's weak to poison. Sure, okay. They changed that in later gens, but like okay, you know, you can, you know, makes total sense. Fine, you know, bugs get poisoned. Sure. That poison's weak to bug. How does this track? We're told to really just like tank that pretty well, actually. Alright, that was like a really fast Misty. Damn, getting the speed advantage with Wrap is like so good. Yeah, just yeah. This is all this is. Oh, were we speed tied? Oh, okay. And I love how he's like, "Oh, take it easy, you won." Like, you know, now that he is losing, he's like, "Whoa, dudes, don't be so serious, man. Come on, dude. Don't be like that. Don't be so, you know, don't be so vicious, man." And it's really cool that the wrap being used, like, in subsequent turns, doesn't count for extra PP. Also, when you crit on wrap, every subsequent turn does that same amount of damage. Like, that's how wrap works. It just clones that, like, same amount of damage. And I think they didn't realize how broken that is. Like, getting crit on wrap is pretty solid. Now, you know, now you're not double damage, but you're doing critical hit damage every time. You know, looking at this, I'm like, holy shit, these colors are definitely a little too bright. Let's make this video just a tiny bit. Maybe decrease the contrast a bit. That's too much. Well, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I can work with that. It's not like overly bright. I think that like the trainer theme in this game, if we're talking about like this version of the trainer theme, like Gen 1, I feel like I could just like keep listening to it and I wouldn't really get tired of it. It's one of those where I could like realistically just kind of like listen to it and with all the trainers over and over again. Same thing with Johto, but this applies to both the original and the remake. I think when it comes to Fire Red and Leaf Green, it really doesn't have the same like lasting power that I think the original does. I think that, like, you know, you hear it for a couple trainers and like, oh yeah, you kind of like rock out to it. And then you keep hearing it and you're like, okay, well, you know, it's cool. And then you keep hearing it even more and you're like, alright, well, maybe I'll put on some music while I'm playing. This trainer theme I really like. Just the original. In its original chiptune form. The funny thing is, I'm pretty confident that, like, I really needed to wrap Ekans. Because if I didn't, then it would wrap me. You know, I remember seeing somewhere that, like, apparently in, like, Pokemon having a higher level do actually make it a little hard to catch. What? It failed? Oh my god, was that a Gen 1 miss? Oh my god. Oh my god. Was that a Gen 1 miss teleport? Oh my god. And it cost it, too, like not only was that a Gen 1 miss teleport, that cost the runaway. Oh my god. I've never seen that happen. I think I actually brought this up at some point. I said, like, does it have a chance to Gen 1 miss? I guess the answer is yes. Or at the very least, it has a chance to fail in some form. Rep is so weird in this game, like, just because, like, because it traps your opponent from moving. Obviously, that's already kind of weird about it. But also, like, you could switch out at any time. I don't think anything in this game ever prevents you from, like, switching to another Pokemon. There's no, like, mean look. In later gens, Wrap actually did, like, prevent you from leaving. I like how the, like, the first few notes during, like, the trainer, like, victory theme, they kind of, like, blend together. It's like, nah, nah, nah. It's the same note repeatedly, but you know, I didn't even mean to press no there, but it's kind of funny. It's another one of those, like, come on, you don't really mean that, do you? And the game is like, yeah, no, like, you don't even, it's not even one of those things where you get the choice repeatedly and they're like, come on, like we're gonna make you keep pressing this until you say yes. That one was just like, aw, you don't really mean it, do you? Oh, you'll help me? Aw, thank you. You know, I wonder how drastically, like, the Pokemon meta would be if switch-ins also took the same speed as your Pokemon. So, like, for example, if you were slower than your opponent, and you try switching Pokemon, then their move still takes priority over the switch. I wonder how that would affect the meta. I'm guessing a fair bit, because, like, switch-ins are kind of like a whole... Having safe switch-ins is like a whole part of the, whole sub-part of it. I don't know. I'd be interested in... There we go. The Scratch Cat Pokemon. Oh yeah, another thing about Rap is that, like, you know, Rap's still going. You could choose to not press Fight on the next turn, and, like, the opponent will then actually have their turn. So, was it Schrodinger's Rap, or did you have to intentionally pick Fight? Is that how it works? It's cute, lovely, sweat. You think so? Oh yeah, it's just stunning. Kindly love it. Hug it when sleeping, warm and out, cuddly, spectacular, ravishing. Oops, like at the time. You just said a bunch of random adjectives. Brilliant. Good. You know, it's so interesting to me how different the progression is in like the Kanto and Johto games. Like, so Kanto, you barely need any HMs except for Cut for, like, quite a while, if you think about it. Like, the like, Brock lets you use Flash, and you know, Faulkner lets you use Flash as well. Just, you know, first gym, both cases, sure, that makes sense. Though, to be fair, Flash is not in any of the necessary caves in Johto until Mount Silver, which is interesting. But then, okay, so after, you know, you also get cut from the second gym, and you pretty much have to use it, like, pretty soon afterwards. The third gym, Whitney, she lets you use Strength, but you probably don't even know that until you get it from the, you get the Strength HM all the way at Olivine. So, there's a good chance you don't even know that, and it's not like you need to use it anyway. The fourth gym, like, lets you use Surf. And Surf you need to progress for gyms 5 and 6. 7 you could, I mean, well, Price, you can, like, just kind of ignore Surf. Oh, no, sorry, for Price you actually... Yeah, for Price you do need Surf. You need to be the Rocket Hideout, which involves you encountering the red Gyarados. So yeah, for Price you do need Surf. But at Surf, it's just funny how you get it at, like, Gym 4. And in the same town, too. Like, here you get it in Gym 6. And I guess also in the same town, because the Safari Zone's right there. But, like... Oh, no, okay, so it's Gym 5. Okay. I always forget if Koga's first or if Sabrina's first. In, like, the gym badge order. I guess the order doesn't really matter that much. Like, Chuck and Jasmine matter a tiny bit more because you already have to go to Cyanwood to eventually fight Jasmine, so you might as well just fight Chuck there. But technically, in Johto, the 5th, 6th, and 7th gyms can be done in any order. In Kanto, gym like 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 can all be done in... Well, no, okay, no. They can be done in a lot of orders, but Gym 7, so Blaine, he needs Surf that you get from Koga, so there is some restrictiveness there. Is this the you know what they say about sailors and fighting guy? Oh, no, this is the creepy guy. Like feisty kids like you. No! What do you guys? Yeah, you're trying to pass it off like, you know, get some sea Pokemon. Yeah, that's what I meant by feisty. I like the sense of adventure. Nah, man. Nah, man. You don't get to play that off like nothing weird happened. I know I've said this like a lot before, but you know, even after the SSN's done, I can't wait to have to eventually do Silph 3 times. I haven't even done it once yet. You know, I also think it's pretty cool that you see like the this pattern here, like the pattern of all these stones, and then you go out here and you see like look how tiny they are, the little stone guys. You like right here, they're cute. No, I'm getting wrapped. This is so unfair. Who would ever use the move wrap? That's so messed up. Who, like, that's so cheap, guys. Never use wrap. Now let me use wrap. Okay, finally getting the SSN, like, 100% done. All 3 files. That's very good. It's very good. Crawl around in grassy areas. That's so mean. Like, why would you say that to someone? Yo, bro, you should crawl around in grassy areas. See? It doesn't feel nice, does it? Because this is just a clone of the Vermilion Wall, dude. Does it also have Hyperfang? Actually, I don't know. Oh my god. I didn't even know he had items in this fight. I didn't think I knew that. I do have Stadium 2. Oh no. I hadn't anticipated this. Oh, well, while I was going to the Pokemon Center, I should have, like, you know, put some of them in the PC. Okay, well, whatever. Escape rope. Not a big deal. You go bye-bye. Oh, I have to rub the captain's back again, dude. He just went back to being seasick, like, right after. You guys see the glitching pixel on that guy's head up there at the top? Yeah, you can see it. Even on stream. It's like the top row of pixels. I'm taking the 25% chance. Do it. Yes! It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. So Dratini will make it through the Voltorb, and then I'll just send out Sandshrew to just exist. Because I think Voltorb might have Sonic Boom, it might have Tackle. That could hurt Sandshrew. That's it, though. Like, Voltorb, again, is the only threat here. Glad you screeched me and then used a Sonic Boom. Like,
you know, glad that worked out for you, bud. Oh wait, this thing goes up quick attack. Okay. I'm thinking of Raichu that doesn't. This will take a while with a lot of scratches. It's probably gonna growl me a couple times just to make this even more obnoxious. But I mean, as long as I don't like struggle myself and die, should be good. Like, I think you guys know more than I do that I'm this kind of person. I will do this. I will do this. I don't care if the pixels aren't even going down on this thing. Okay. I have one potion. Oh, okay. I want to struggle one time so that I lower my health just a tiny bit. Okay. So now the potion... Well, I could have just done it one. Anyway, the potion now heals for full. Dratini can tank a hit. I want to try to avoid the growls as much as possible. Thundershock and Thunderbolt are good. I think we got it. I think we got it. I think it will. I will not struggle myself before this thing dies. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Even with some growls now, we're perfect. We're Gucci. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Just take the full front of that, the whole brunt of that experience. Let's just bump up to level 10. There's a phone. Who's phoning? I must know. Oh, it's likely spam. Okay. Me and likely spam go back a long way, you know. I gotta say, this like this hue, like this blue hue in the dark, it's very pretty. Especially the text box. I really like the sort of glow in the dark text box. I know I mentioned this when I was doing red, but I think in blue it looks even better. I don't know how it looks in yellow actually. I don't think I've really checked. So I know Fear doesn't really need experience because it's like already at its like highest evolution, but just so that I don't overlevel something and like have something to use against Erica. Ooh, 5 hits, nice. Oh my god, you know, he said Pokemon techniques, and like every time I hear that line I'm like, you know, what technique is he talking about? I don't think it's a mistranslation necessarily, but like you could sort of interpret technique as like a move. And then that makes so much more sense why technical machine is a thing. Because it's not saying like, oh, this machine is so technical. It's saying that this machine gives you a technique, so it's a technical machine. That makes so much more sense now. Why didn't I think of this? I specifically want Machop, and I don't really care about Onix, because of course I can trade Onix. But I need to get a lot of Machokes, because I can't just keep trading them around. I guess I should mention that, like, for Silver, there's like 1 or 2 extra things I think I caught. I'm talking, like, very little, though. I also got Eevee up to a point where it's really close to Friendship Evolving. Like, it's damn close. I wasted, like, a fair bit of money for that, but probably worth it. I also caught a Vulpix there, and I traded that around. I also made sure to trade a shitload, I think I mentioned this, I need to trade a shitload around, just to make sure that if Silver dies again, you know, everyone else has seen most of what Silver has to offer anyway. You know, that'd be so funny if, like, if you didn't have the right badge for Fly, it actually took you to that menu, but as soon as you flew to the town, it said, wait, another badge is required, and then it, like, plopped you back up and, like, flew you back. That would have been amazing. I know everything. I know everything! I know this Eevee will evolve. Nice. Okay, that's a little bit of a weight off the shoulders. Well, at least Firo can, you know. Oh, did I get crit wrapped? I did, didn't I? There, that's your multi-attack move. See, I'm nice like that. I just get it all done within one hit. And I don't let you, like, lose a move. Because I'm not an asshole. I would never do that. I would never do that. Ooh. Ooh. Woohoo. Aw, what? What? Woo. Woo. Woohoo. So, okay. Is this woman wearing, like, a scarf over her hair? I always interpreted it that way, but I think it's supposed to be, like, her actual hair. The red part. It looks like a scarf that she's wearing over it. Like, it's so rare that in, like, Japanese stuff you see, like, blonde or, like... I was gonna say light hair, but, yeah, I don't know. Anime has, like, Technicolor hair, so I guess that checks out. What would happen there if you had 4 HP, like if you had 1 HP and you walked in front of a trainer on the same step that you take poison damage, I think you would faint first. I think that would take priority. You know, I wonder if this game, during any cutscene, I don't think so, I don't think this is the case. If in any cutscenes, poison damage happens. Like, if you're ever walking in a cutscene and you're poisoned, I want to say no. I want to say that doesn't happen. I want to say that, and I hope I'm right, because that would be very, very funny. Okay, well, I guess more specifically, I want to be right for the game, for the sake of the game designers, but I kind of want to be wrong for the sake of funny. Hey, maybe I should also get the. Let me also get the fresh water. I think I'm probably just gonna use the Pokedoll. Because, like, I only need to beat the Rocket Hideout in red, so that I can just grab a Cubone, grab a Ghastly. I can trade a bunch of Ghastlies over, like, that's not really an issue. With one Pokedoll. That was a hearty sneeze. This wrapping thing, it's not appropriate. I've now deemed that it's annoying. Unless I use it, then it's still fine. And Tangela also has wraps, so that could also be pretty annoying. Okay. Two. 3. Okay. Bind. Okay, bind is close enough to wrap. Where I still don't like it. Strict I don't care. It sounds like the same as that, but it's not. So this is what you do, Erica. This is all you fucking do. You feel like you like this? You like this? You like this? You like the rap? It's fucking great, huh? It's fucking great. Okay. Don't miss any wraps, and I think we'll be all good. Well, we're all good to go. Oh, that's not good. That could actually do some damage. Oh, and it crits too. Okay, yeah, no, that's good too. I like it. We're all good with Petal Dance critting. Okay, Fury Attack. Alright, we got through Erica. Firo can rest easy, and so can Dratini. The Dex of 40. So, let's see. It can afford to do a bunch of trades. So, I can deposit all the Gen 1 games I've seen a War Turtle. I think Meowth is actually like area unknown. Yeah, it's area unknown in yellow. It's stupid. It's stupid because like you can't just decide to trade with any 2 games in red and in like the first generation. Like you can't do red and blue, or maybe red and yellow, or maybe blue and yellow, or something. Like no, it has to be like if you're playing yellow, you have to play with a mix of red and blue. But if you're playing red and blue, you can just trade with a blue. Like red could trade with a blue, blue could trade with a red. There is still the matter of the starters and the EVs, but like that's not really that much of a problem. I might just have to spend off screen like getting all these trades done and like updating the counters appropriately. More often than not, the concern is just getting to all of these later stuff, and there's still a lot when it comes to like just progressing through the game. Definitely getting to Erica was like a pretty big accomplishment for this game. And the first time a Gen 1 game has gone to the 4th gym. I am going to take a couple seconds of a break, go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm gonna go. So I have the Pokédoll. I'm gonna go at Pokemon Tower. Gonna get the Pokeflute, get down to Fuchsia, and then start Safari zoning it up. I will never use that terminology again. It starts out with a Pidgeotto, so I don't really have anything especially interesting for it. Oh, it got me. It got me. Outplayed. Wait, actually, does Dragon Rage bypass accurate? I don't think it does, but could be wrong. There's a lot of, like, a handful of moves that just randomly bypass accuracy checks, and I don't really know why. Like, obviously Swift, and we use an X accuracy, it just bypasses it all. But, like, okay, I'm getting kind of paranoid about whether or not Yellow gets an Eevee. So Red has an... Oh yeah, no, Red has an Eevee, there's no problem, I'll just use that. Let me just make sure Red hasn't evolved its Eevee yet. Because if it hasn't, then what I can do is just, you know, trade Red's Eevee over to Yellow, so it's seen an Eevee. And then we're all good. Yeah, Red still has an Eevee, so it doesn't have anything to worry about. Yellow's totally fine. Regardless of if it gets an Eevee or not, doesn't matter. So, in this file, I will evolve Eevee. I could potentially return back to the Rocket Hideout if I feel like it, but the question is, do I feel like it?
That's a good question.
Nightshade's actually pretty decent. Like, it's kind of solid. It also works on... yeah, here we go. It works on normal types. Here's another, like, Pokedex order thing that makes no sense. Like a Grimer. Grimer is before Ghastly. And I'm pretty sure you can't find Grimer until the Pokemon Mansion. Coughing is after Ghastly, which makes sense. Also, Cubone is a fair bit away after Ghastly. Like you can see all this order. This is why I'm talking about it. It's all in that little tracker there. So Cubone's pretty far ahead of Ghastly, even though you have to find them in the same place. In Gen 2, you can find Cubone in Rock Tunnel, which is silly because it's still in the post game. But anyway, that happens a lot in Gen 2, unfortunately. I guess they had to move it somewhere because the Pokemon Tower doesn't exist anymore. But like, even going by that logic, it should be before Ghastly. Also, Seal and Dugong are so in the middle of everything else that it really doesn't make any sense. I think same with Shelder, I think, but you might be able to fish Shelder not from Seafoam. But I might be misremembering. It's funny because like if the ghost can't be identified, and then like Ghastly is also a ghost, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's a Ghastly, no problem with that one. Like I assume that all these ghosts are like I think from a narrative perspective, these ghosts are all supposed to represent the Marowak ghost, just like repeatedly like asking you to flee. But like from a gameplay perspective, they're all different levels. Like you're definitely encountering different ones. In terms of like fighting, this is probably one of the most annoying parts of the game, because everything just confuses you, and then nightshades you for like a fair bit of damage. At least we get this healing spot halfway through, but like, damn. Ah, Dratini is finally gonna evolve. Definitely helps a little bit to get a pretty higher level like this. I don't need like a Vulpix to gain any levels from a Pokedex standpoint. I just think that like, I don't know, just having an extra teammate somewhere, especially one that can actually hurt ghosts around here, you know? I thought you couldn't find encounters on those. I was sorely lacking some knowledge there. I can only assume that because all these channelers are like cursed by ghosts, this is also another attempt at the Marowak ghost to like sort of scare you off, and this like give me blood thing is just like a scare tactic. I feel like just like talking to some of these characters after the battle, like I've never done this before for a few of them, and it just gives me like extra context that I've never really known before. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of pretty enlightening. I've decided that if there's any one-time Pokemon, like any Pokemon that's like you have to find in the story, and it's a one-time thing only, and if you miss it, then you'll never see it again, I might as well just catch it. So I guess between Red, Blue, and Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, I'm going to catch 6 Snorlaxes? Maybe? No! Oh no, I'm encountering Mr. Fuji. Aw, he's a ghost, he's dead. Aw, dude, that sucks. You know, I'm gonna say something cursed. Why isn't Wartortle called War Turtle? I know it's just, at that point, that's just 2 words together. But Wartortle actually, like, falls... I don't know. What's a turtle? Tell me what a turtle is. Wish I had Ultra Balls. Wait, I could get them from Saffron, actually. I think so. I think they have the Ultra Balls in Saffron. Oh, never mind. Caught Snorlax. Okay. Little known fact, you can hold A or B and just stop yourself. You could just go through here. Like, I don't think there's any trainers that I see if I just hug the right wall. I mean, they see me, but they have myopia, I guess. I want to get Surf and beat Koga as soon as I can. So, I have a Tauros in one of the Gen 2 games. So I don't need Tauros. I should also mention that in Silver, while I was playing it, I caught a Pinsir in the bug catching contest. I didn't win the contest, but it was just so that I can get in the Pokedex. I might try to get Execute, because it's not that bad. I probably also want to get Rhyhorn, because, you know, Rhyhorn. Will you cooperate? Yo, dude, how's it going? I recognize you. How's it been, dude? I think you gave me good luck. Right as you came in, the Execute cooperated, and then another one came. Nice, nice. Just slowly working my way through the games, filling up the decks. Oh shit, we got a chance! E. Oh, okay. So I guess it's like a different character of yours in the emotes. Ah, moths are awesome. Moths are really cool. If only I could get that Venom. I actually don't really care that much for Venomoth. I still need to workshop a moth character at some point. So anyway, yeah, like I'm glad you could come. Just kind of, you know, hop in for a little bit. Really nice to see you. It's not only weird, it's very contradictory to like even your own gameplay. This guy not only like can withdraw Pokemon, he can withdraw after you make a move, which like always takes priority in any other Pokemon game, barring Pursuit. Pursuit's the one move that I know of anyway. I don't know if I've asked you like what you doing in school. Actually, I'd say the single easiest thing to just guess like anyone at random is a psych, like a psych major. Yeah, that's awesome. Super interested to see what kind of stuff you do, or like what you'll make. You know what? Like given the option of not too many classes and too many, definitely better to take things a bit easier. Whether, I mean, it might be like financially. So the guy next to me has a very elongated face. I mean, it's the back of his head, but it's still very long. Yeah, I mean, every so often I try to make a little something, and I'm glad you think it's pretty cool. I feel like a lot of it's just like a lack of really wanting to sit down and do, which is kind of a big thing work ethic wise. Every so often I've wanted to like draw like digitally, or at the very least just any kind of like something traditionally. Ooh, you got me with Slam, dude. I gotta really like sit down and like figure out what works with that. I think I'm sort of like reaching a point where I'm not seeing any kind of results on paper. Maybe like a 2% improvement, and I haven't even touched any kind of coloring either. I could maybe do something like I know PewDiePie did this this like drawing challenge where he drew every day, or like he drew a bunch. I haven't seen the video, but I have seen people say that he made some really good improvement from the beginning. So I do want to see like, oh my god, I'm out of people. Random bullshit, go. Oh yeah, so you can evolve when you're fainted. I feel like I vaguely remember that. I haven't seen his videos either. I just remember that like a lot of discussion was brought up about like AI art, and some people are like, oh, like I can't get to that level, and someone's like, dude, like PewDiePie just did it fine. Like, no man, like what's your excuse? I think that like some of my favorite YouTubers, like Pyrocynical, I used to find his videos like fine at the time, but I feel that like recently when he's, oh my god, okay, yeah, I think I do remember Charmix, like now that you say that. Is he that guy, like, he was a reaction guy, did he basically just like leave the internet at some point, or at the very least like delete everything off his channel, or is that like, am I thinking of a totally different person? Makes sense. For some reason I feel like music is like a very common career path after YouTubing. I don't know if he was like particularly like big. I mean, I feel like he was like fairly big for like the audience. I know like reaction YouTubers sort of got like a bad reputation, but I feel like he wasn't one of like the particularly bad ones. Hi Minty, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, I remember like you did some YouTube hoops. I could be misremembering this, but I think at some point he also did some SMG4 videos as well. Nice. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just, slowly making it through Kanto, making some good progress, considering like I was right before Brock at the beginning of today. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of someone totally different. There was like another reaction guy maybe it was not, he was not related to him, but maybe he did. He watched some like the channel SMG4. SMG4 used to do a lot of like Mario 64 stuff. I think he still does a little bit, but like it's very different now. That's another channel I haven't I haven't like been around in for like a very long time. I think when I was like really young, I used to see like some of the SML videos, but oh yeah, I think I told you, but I also did get I did get silver back to where it was, and actually it's even better than where it was because I did a lot of trading, and so now I don't have to put things back and forth as much because I already got that done with. How are you doing, Mint? Are you you're just hanging out? I guess it's pretty late for you, right? Like it's almost midnight. A lot of the times I just pick the team based on like whatever weaknesses I have, but like usually it's during these it's just the starters because a lot of it okay, I guess a good way to pick it here is just whatever needs a lot of experience to fully evolve. Well, that's cool. I remember seeing some stuff about that. Sounds like you had a really nice time. I'm glad. Oh, damn, that's awesome. Well, what's he in, by the way? Like, what's the exam on? Please explode, sir. Oh, that's cool. To be fair, I was surfing all around him, so if he had any kind of fuse, I must have repeatedly put it out. That's cool. I don't remember the last time I've actually been to like a theater to watch any movie. My friend sometimes comes in, like he's in Halifax. I'm in Toronto, so it's a little far. But sometimes he comes in during the holidays. I think we made it a habit that every time he's here, if we see each other, we're watching a movie. A couple times, the first time we did it, it was Endgame. But the funny thing is, I know, like, I'm like not into Marvel at all, and I haven't even seen Infinity War. And he's like, okay, no, we have to, like, the day that we were seeing Endgame, we went back, like, we went to my place early, and he said, okay, we're watching Infinity War on Netflix, so we can go to Endgame prepared. And then, okay, let's see, after that, it was Far From Home. Then I think it was the next Spider-Man after that, or I forget which order it was. Yeah, you know what? I was very lost with like specific character like interactions. Like there was a lot with Iron Man and Spider-Man that I had no idea about, like their sort of like relationship. But the actual events of the movie were pretty self-contained. Though a lot of things, if you had no idea of these characters, they just come out of nowhere. So I'd still say it was kind of just like a fun time, but definitely not something to like start with if you have a choice. What? Someone saw that, right? Yeah, okay. I didn't think it applied to this menu. Apparently, I was wrong. So if I'm holding down and while pressing A, the cursor goes down an extra slot. Like, I know I only have done 5 gyms so far, but the fact that, like, I'm already at Cinnabar, and most of the rest is just, like, a mix of going to gyms, and I guess doing Silco as well. It's kind of crazy how fast you can progress in... Get? Sir. Oh yeah, so I think like I was like halfway through saying, like... I watched a bit of Pyrocynical back in the day, but I think like now, a lot of his like more recent videos, they're like really good now. He makes like a lot of like video essays on games. Usually like popular ones, or at least like ones with a cult following. But it never feels like it's like content farming or anything. Like there's always like a very fun like analysis to it. And, like, he also has, like, a good sense of humor, too. Where were you? You took so long. There's no old amber in Gen 2, but you can get an Aerodactyl without having to trade. Well, okay. I mean, there's an in-game trade, but you don't have to, like, trade it from another game. There's a girl that has an Aerodactyl, and you have to trade her a Chansey for it. But all the other two fossils, no, you still need to trade those. I'm just looking for either a Coughing or a Grimer. Doesn't really matter, but I do know that one of them is way more common in red, one of them is way more common in blue. My guess is that blue has Grimers, because we got a Muck here. Hey! Wow, okay.
That's Muck. Alright.
Oh, so Rex mentioned Kung Fu Panda 4 earlier. Maybe he left, but I don't know. I saw the first two. I saw the first one several times, so like I know that one pretty well. I've seen the second one once, so that's probably worth a rewatch. And then I haven't seen 3. This guy. I have never lost. I'm about to ruin this man's whole career. Yeah, no, I feel like if I see some good stuff about it, I'll go check it out. I feel like we should have like a movie night. We should just binge the Kung Fu Panda movies back to back. Oh, I can't even get here. Aw. I don't want to wake the Snorlax. I want to let it sleep. You could just walk in with your own snacks, but of course they don't allow that. Theaters here don't. Like, I mean, like, they sell you snacks. But yeah, no, all the theaters I'm around, like, they would send you out of the theater or basically ask you to throw away your snacks if they caught you with that. That guy cheated. He was looking the other way. He caught me. During when Five Nights at Freddy's, when that movie came out, I didn't particularly, like, I probably wasn't gonna see it, but my friend was in town, so that was, like, one of the movies we saw, and we actually had the entire theater to ourselves. Not a single other person was in there. So we just, like, messed around. We basically, like, laughed at all, like, the funny parts of the movie, and, like, some of the effects, because, you know, it wasn't exactly a AAA movie budget title. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. If you don't have Wendy's, your country sucks. So do you just, like, sneak it in, like, in a bag or something? Like, or, like, under your shirt or something? I don't know. I've never snuck anything in. I bow down to the corporate overlords and just pay for the popcorn and stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's from America. They do what they want there. I will agree with half of that. I do like hamburgers. That being said, I have not touched a gun beyond, like, a fake replica gun. I don't plan to. But I also understand the need to. But also I understand the need to because other people also understand the need to there. So it's quite cyclic in that way. I like this is coming from someone who is scared of fire. I have, like, very strong, I guess, pyrophobia. Usually won't even use a match. Well, okay, now a match maybe. Lighters, because you have to put your thumb really close, I don't like it that much. Okay, I'm down with more hamburgers, less guns. Just trade in the guns for hamburgers. A small price to pay for salvation. Sigh.
Awesome, I got mostly everything filled up from the first multiple rows here. Technically, I guess that means that I'm eventually going to get these guys. So that's good.
Wait, no way. What? I'm inclined to like to not believe anything anymore. A chemistry teacher named like Psyduck? Like what, does that translate to anything? Like what? In any language? I don't know, man. I mean, I think you have to earn the nickname Psyduck, whether it was a name or a nickname. You have to earn it by like blowing things up telepathically, like those weird like migraines that Psyducks have that just explode. I feel like you need to pass that point. Where's Krabby? Oh, there it is. Ah, hello there. I am having a good day. Oh, something. Is it gonna be a Poliwhirl? It's a slow. I didn't know you could find Slowpoke here. Okay, but like, I feel like I would know this. I feel like I would know you could find a Slowpoke. Hey, okay. I actually think I might need to get 2 of these because I still need 1 for the trade, and then I need 1 to evolve. Hey, there we go. Thanks so much for coming, man. Like, you know, I'm really happy to see you. I know it's okay. I'm you know what, like, it just means a lot to have you here, and you know, I hope to talk sometime soon. Yeah. I actually, last few times I've streamed, I've done it for like basically until midnight, sometimes even a little further there. It depends on who comes, honestly. By the way, you might see that like there's a lot of blue spaces, but they don't increase the counter. I mentioned this before, but blue is if I've caught this Pokemon in one game, but not like all 3 Gen 1s. Red is like, you know, I'll get to that family member of the same evolution line eventually. Black is if I have it in every single game. So there's going to be a lot of trades like going around the games. Okay, pretty good. Hey. I guess something that I was going to say, like, just in general, on YouTube, I feel like for the longest time, it sort of got to this point where, like, there were a select bunch of channels that I would subscribe to. They were, like, some, like, the really popular ones, or ones that, like were, like, super consistent throughout the years. And, like, I feel like I would mostly just be subscribed to them for a while. But relatively recently, within the last, like, couple years, I started to, like, basically subscribe to channels more on a whim. Like, still, you know, still if I like their stuff, not, like, just, like, a random arbitrary decision, but I don't know, they had, like, a couple of like, really great videos, and I'm like, okay, you know what, like, I want to see more from them. The main reason why I didn't do as much of it, and I'd still like watch some channels like manually if I weren't necessarily subscribed to them. Like I just sort of like say like, oh, what are they doing nowadays? There's a few channels that upload like a ton, and I like a handful of the stuff that they upload, but not a lot. But I really do want to like see that little bit. The only reason why I did only like a small amount of subscriptions, I think, is because it's a lot easier to sift through if you ever sort of like looking over a list of all the subscriptions and stuff. And there's still like a ton that I don't watch. Random fact, Magneton is literally 3 Magnemites, and it weighs 10 times more than a single Magnemite. Why? I don't know what the Pokedex is doing half the time. The game has this weird thing where it only soft resets once it allows like player input of some kind. So like, I was holding A, B, start, select until the text box that Electrode fainted popped up. Like I was holding it that whole time. Alright. I'm not gonna try too much on this Zapdos. I am gonna give it a good few attempts. Whatever you do not die. Remember, I gave you an order. Damn it, I told you to follow the order. Oh, shit! What is that? Is that second ball? Oh my god, okay. You gotta love Gen 1's catching odds. They're just low enough to be kind of unfair for some things, but like they never get so low that it takes about an hour to catch a legendary, like it does in some of the later games. I was not expecting the legendaries to go that well. Well, one legendary. That rarely ever happens. Okay, so we got Staryu. I'm like leaning back and I'm kind of comfy, so I'm not gonna click on it just yet. I'm just gonna move one tile to the left. I hope I don't move anywhere while That's really good. That's a good capture. But I want to look at that Pokemon. I want to look at the Pokedex. That they said Japanese, which is still weird because why does Japan exist in the Pokemon world? Did I miss it? Okay, here we go. What is this? No. Often seen swimming elegantly by the lake shores, it is often mistaken for the Japanese monster Kappa. I mean, that's cool, but what's Japan and the like? What does that mean? All right. Not you. You can go home. I have you. I actually like Staryu a lot. Starmie is like super fun to use. It's like really powerful, really strong, really fast. Nice. Articuno would be really good. His Ice Beam is just so fucking good. Hey! Got it. Alright. That Articuno wasn't too bad. It took a few resets, but they were pretty quick resets. Alright. That's pretty nice. I think the last thing I want to do for now before I start getting some food. I want to look for a Tangela. Yeah, it's right here. It's getting kind of ridiculous. Where is this Tangela? I was not expecting it to be this big of a problem. I think it has like a... I thought it had like a 10% chance or something. Hey! Tangela has like a low catch rate. Or it just goes in the ball right away, okay. So this specific Pokedex is at 75, which means this one's at the halfway point. For Gen 1, just about. And of course, if you combine all the other games, we're well over that. You know, I think I should just continue with Crystal when I get back. I mean, okay, well, Gold is the most behind out of all of them. But, actually, Yellow. Yellow is probably the most behind out of them all. Okay, after much deliberation, I think we'll continue Yellow once I come back. I'm now talking on a phone. Let me... Hello. Okay. So, while that timer's happening, I'm gonna get through Misty and Surge. You don't know Cut, do you? No. You might actually still work against Surge unless they fixed Surge's, like, existence. Okay, good. You know, these guys are screaming like, "Oh, you know, we can't have kids in here." It's like, bro, how do people get badges in this universe? The egg rolls in the sauce, which I don't think it needs to be like hot anyway. Leech seed. Oh my god, Mega Punch. That's new. Mega Kick. It's also new. Pretty good sauce with the egg rolls. I like it. Very nice. Very nice fight. The Mega Punch and Mega Kick misses at the very beginning was very lucky. So don't give this to Pikachu because it's going to learn it naturally. But also, I want to point out, yeah, they did fix Surge. You know, give him some credit. They did fix Surge. They didn't make him into a complete pushover with, like, even so much as a Diglett. Though at the cost of the rest of his team, because they wanted to make it like the anime. Pidgeotto still doesn't know any flying moves. Let me, since I love to look things up. Let me look it up. Let me look up when Pidgeotto learns his first flying move. Oh, at level 31. Okay, yeah, that's nice. I do kind of wish the developers put maybe 2% more thought into the movesets, you know. Ivysaur is confused no more. I love that, like, I love, like, the wording on that. It's like, I'm confused no more. I have risen above, and I am confused no more. God, everything is so yellow in this game. Like, you could have pretty much uglier shades of green or like, brown and stuff. But, like, in terms of, as a whole, yellow's my least favorite of the higher categories of colors. I don't know. Is there a truly higher category of colors? Or is it just a construct? Once you try to like lump things together, there's bound to be like exceptions. You know, kind of like what a chair is. Like, can you define anything you can sit on to be a chair? Does it have to be chair-shaped? When does it become not a chair? It's generally like a interesting philosophical question. I like conversations like that. There's this common one that I've seen around a couple times, but I was introduced to it from a friend. We were debating like between each other which one there were more of in the world, whether it was the amount of doors or the amount of wheels in the world. And then, like, you know, like, sure, you could, like, make guesses, but then you have to start defining, like, what's a wheel? What's a door? I say gears are wheels. Cog wheels. Even if you... I agree that even if you call something, it doesn't make it that. Still good to own a Machop anyway, you know. You know, I just realized it's kind of cool how, like, they darken out the sprite, but the sprite intentionally leaves some white, some whites in place where there's, like, actual white that's, like, just used for the background. So it's actually just transparency. And when the Pokemon, like, comes into frame, when it, like as it's, like, darkened and it like, scrolls on, you can see like Machop's eyes there, which is pretty cool. I'm guessing you could probably see a Geodude's eyes too. Okay, we're officially done with Gen 1 Rock Tunnel. Kinda sucks that the bike, like, overrides pretty much every single song in the game. Like, I think it even, like, they even accounted to override the surf theme on Route 23, but not the bike theme. I think the bike theme still exists. Pokedol. That's a nice Eevee sprite. That's a good one. Vaporeon, you better look good. Okay, well, it's acceptable. Not the best, not the worst. I don't know why they bothered changing much here. They, Vaporeon learns Water Gun at level 31 in Red and Blue. And they decided to change it to level 16. So the reason why I thought that, like, level 16 Water Gun is so dumb is because you still can't, like, well, like, now you can't get a Vaporeon in the wild, and when you evolve it, it's too high, like, the level's too high to learn that move. And, you know, why couldn't we have seen this in the anime? Some guy guarding a poster. I haven't seen all of the anime, but I'm pretty sure that never happened. This back sprite is always, like... It actually kind of looks not bad, you know? Like, not as Vaporeon. It looks, you know, it looks nothing like Vaporeon. But as, like, a totally unique Pokemon, has, like, a mohawk or something, and, like, black ears on the side, I could actually dig this. Submission! Hell yeah. I swear, these Ratigates, despite being lower level than a lot of stuff on my team, they're proving to be kind of a threat. I mean, for being like an early on final evolution, they're putting in weight. They're putting in their work. The yellow definitely introduces some lag in between, like, hitting the enemy, like them stop flickering, and then the health bar going down. I don't know why. You'd think if there were any lag, it would be in, like, for red and blue. I think Mankey could take charge, because I think he has a Rhyhorn? He still has no dialogue. Wow, like, just like, I'm surprised you made it here. That's all you got, Giovanni. You don't like, hi, I'm Giovanni. I'm the king of the lair. He still doesn't have anything. Bro, you know, Celadon's just a little over there. You can evolve it, dude. It's fine. Thunderbolt at 26. Okay. Next level I get Thunderbolt. Alright, I thought it was 25. Whatever, it's fine. We got... Finally, we can start adding to this. We got a Ghastly. Walk one step forward. Take one step. And then again. I like how this is just a one-time shortcut. Like, you can make this girl, like, move a space forward, but only this one time. Render yourself invisible or prepare to... That's a pretty good fight. They're a pretty good line. I like that. Oh, now they decide to put me out that first. Also, we just fought you guys, like, a couple minutes ago. I think the best way I can describe, well, some Pokemon Yellow sprites here, but also this Ghastly sprite, is that it's actually pretty good. However, the smoke trail that it leaves behind, it feels distinctly not Pokemon. Like, it's kind of cool how it's, like, you know, like, trailing off like actual smoke. But it doesn't seem like something that Pokemon would look like. Yay! And... Oh, hey! So, about this, like a little okay. So I swapped from blue to yellow, catching a few things in Pokemon Tower. Since we now have the Cubone line somewhere. So yeah, after that, like, so we still got Surf in the Safari Zone and then Koga. And then we can sort of, like, do a mix of trading and evolving, cleaning up. Yeah, I'd say all the games are doing a healthy amount of progress. The biggest amount of, the best progress I can do in general right now is when it comes to, like, actually beating the game. Because then I get access to a lot of, like, money farms with, like, the Elite Four and, like, experience that goes along with it. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Lethal Company. Sounds like something, like, if I really got into it, I'd have, like, an awesome time with. Would you believe that I've touched Terraria for a grand total of about, like, maybe 2 hours. And it wasn't even lack of not having fun, I just kind of, like, never went back to it for some reason. And I hear so many good things about Terraria, and I just, like, I want, you know... I know. This definitely puts your impression of me into perspective. Ow, that hurt. Ow, that hurt. Ow, that hurt. Ow, that hurt. I love quadruple slap. That Shelter Sprite's pretty good. Just like you can see, like, the opening in there. Nice angle. Again, being quite small. I have so much to say about, like, the Pokemon sprites being so small. Look how all these trainers are, like, so insecure. It's like, well, you know, you might have beaten me, but I'm still pretty cool, okay? Like, yeah, dude, sure, man, it's fine. Like, I'm not calling into question that. You just seem to put that label on yourself, bro. Could be wrong, but doesn't... I think Low Kick in later gens does more damage based on how heavy the Pokemon is. In Gen 1, I'm not sure what it does. Does it do the same thing? I kind of find it hard to believe that they would program that in properly. Okay, so Erica's dialogue doesn't seem changed. There might be a very subtle difference that I didn't notice. But, I mean, she wasn't really, like, a prominent character in the anime anyway. To be fair, neither was Surge, really. But, like, I guess Erica was even less. Nice. Nice crit. So I don't know what's new to the Safari Zone in Yellow. It doesn't really concern me, because I don't really need anything. You know, if the Pokemon that run away aren't super rare, I actually might consider trying to catch them. You know, like, that's one of the biggest reasons why the Safari Zone is so annoying to work with. Is because not only are the Pokemon rare, but then you start missing everything, and they just run, and then you have to wait so long. If they're not super rare, that's fine, like... This Scyther is... Wow, okay. Okay, we caught a Scyther. That's kind of neat. I need to import it from Gen 2 anyway, so that's pretty cool. It's higher than every single person on my team. Hey! Wow! Okay, then. Alrighty. I still didn't teach Surf. What the f- I'm gonna do this as soon as this battle ends. Strength isn't the key for Pokemon, it's strategy. Now, here's a fucking level 38 Hypno, which is pretty beefy for this point in the game. Like, I honestly think that they gave a bunch of these trainers something kind of, like, generic, like, as a team. They're just like, okay, well, this guy gets, like, Hypno, this guy gets, like, Arbok and stuff. This guy's, like, a tamer, he gets this, whatever. But then they just kind of wrote the dialogue kind of arbitrarily. It could have been translation changes, but I don't think so. I mean, it very well could be. Oh, is this what we're working with? We're looking like 3 Venonats and also a Venomoth. A little much, don't you think? I remember I struggled a while with like the yellow gyms. I find them like a little unfairly high. This isn't the only game where like the gyms levels are like unfairly high, but like this is one of them for sure. I think he's doing that stupid AI thing again, where it's like, oh well, Sleep Powder is a grass type move, and you're water, so I'm obviously going to prioritize that. So it's only half stupid. It desperately tries to put me to sleep because it can. But as soon as it does, then it knows, okay, well now I don't want to use any sleeping moves on it, because it's already asleep. Critical hit. Okay, so I definitely am not going to win this fight. Unless it tries to Toxic me, and then I get a freeze off. I don't think that'll work, though. Yo, if I get a freeze, if I somehow get a freeze from all this... Oh my god! It threw! It threw! He completely threw! Holy shit! What the fuck? Koga just gave up. It was a Psychic was a surefire kill. I don't know what the AI was thinking. It used Psychic before. Why would it go out of its way to use Leech Life? I can understand if it's low on health, maybe. Could attempt a Nidorina catch. Okay. And in this area, Kangaskhan has like a 15% chance to appear. Okay, well. First try. First try, every try. I don't know. Nice. You know, I'm still, like, in shock about, like, that one, like, challenge where you have, like, I think it's just, like, called Ash Percent on, in Generation 1, where, like, they go through, like, the Pokemon that Ash catches throughout his journey. That's, like, such, like, an interesting challenge, though it's very, very long. Because I think the single biggest part is the fact that he catches 30 Tauros are caught in the Safari Zone. However, like, which is funny because in the anime it's just like, oh, silly gag. In like the speedrun it's just like, oh god, please no. I remember people pointing out, well, actually, Brock threw one of the Safari Balls, as far as we know. So Ash definitely caught, you know, not 30, but maybe 29. Damn, I'm getting like a lot caught today in Gen 1. There's still a lot to evolve, so that's a whole other story. Ooh! But not a Marowak, I just caught that one flat out. Okay, so let's get Ammonite revived. And the waves look different, seems like a little different everywhere we go. Though this one might be exclusive to Yellow for all I know. Where were you? You took so long.
Okay, so it's past midnight. Try to think of what's the remaining things I want to do. Because like this already could be a good, end to the stream. Because I feel like, there's nothing really to prove with the trades. You don't really need to show it on screen. It's just a little bit of everything. Should have all Ivysaur, because I know, so I already have a Blastoise in blue. Red is like just on the cusp of getting a Charizard. It's kind of awesome seeing like the Gen 1 tally here. It's almost full. Like it's pretty damn close. Right, I'm gonna get Hitmonlee in this game. Hey Tuna, if you're there. I'm doing pretty well. Hope you're doing well. You doing anything fancy this weekend? Or just kind of like chilling around? Oh, nice. There was a friend earlier on stream. He also saw Dune 2. You like it? That's good. That's good. I feel like I'd have to ask what exactly it's about. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what the book is, actually. To be honest, until people were talking about Dune 2, I had no idea what Dune is. Do you know when, like, the first movie came out, by the way? Like, I don't know if this is, like, a relatively recent thing, or, like, if the first... I don't know, fucking, like, Top Gun had a sequel, like, 2 decades later or something? I don't know. That's cool. It's like giving it another chance, kind of. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, the flower is so small. You know, I gotta say, like, worst case scenario is when something just, like, messes up the book. It's like I honestly don't see how some movies just exist when there's, like, a really good book to go with it. Or at least, like, just a good book, even if it's not, like, really, really... You know, I don't know. I don't know the extent. Point is, like, I don't know. Just, it's so baffling to me how they can mess stuff up, like as bad as they do sometimes in Hollywood. Have you ever seen that, like, that one skit by Caleb City? It's like this team gets a hold of the rights to some, like, anime or something, or sorry, to some manga, and they turn it into an anime, and they're like, okay, what are we gonna change? And he's like, no, we don't need to change it. It could just be like as is. It's really, really popular. It's like, you know, like, we will get this perfectly. It's like, yeah, but we could make it better. Like, no! There's so much just, like, there's so much rebooting in Hollywood. I know why they do it. You know, it sold originally, so even if it doesn't sell this time, it's gonna, like, still do, like, ridiculously well anyway. I still remember people were talking about how bad that Ghostbusters reboot was, like the 2016 one. I heard that there's, like, another one coming out, or maybe there was another one after that as well. I don't have reference for that, so I can't tell you if it's, like, any good or not. Hey, you know, man, I'm glad you think so too. It could be kind of tedious, but it's just nice and chill. Gotta love the evolution music just playing on repeat for, like, so long. In Gen 2, they, you know, it goes up a scale, or it goes up a key after a few measures of the music, but in this game you're not so lucky. I guess the only real thing about it is that between the 3 starters, I would rather pick Bulbasaur the least. But, like, to be fair, the Kanto starters, they're all pretty good. Like,
I don't know competitively. I've no clue, but just in terms of like however much I enjoy it. Squirtle was cool. I think that like the Charizard, well, I guess the Charmander, like the whole backstory of it was like so sad, and then he just comes back, like, you know, like Ash comes back, basically like scoops him up and takes him under his wing, and then Charizard just goes ahead and be like, nah, don't really need to do that. I can just sort of like, you just sort of screw around, nobody cares. I'm like, come on, man. Dude, you were like, I thought you were a nice guy. What happened? Why couldn't it just do both animations with the Tauros and the Wigglytuff at the same time as each other? Why does it have to do one way, then the other way? Like, there's no way the data takes this long to transfer over, right? Like, I know it's older technology, but there's no way. What if they, between all the different, like, methods of evolving Pokemon, it would be kind of funny if they made one that was like, it had to evolve from trading something up a generation. So, for example, if you traded, let's say, Primeape up a generation, it would evolve into, like, something else. And obviously you can't trade it back to the previous one because it didn't exist. Okay, so I have a pretty comprehensive list. Yeah, obviously no Tauros Kangaskhan. They will, you know, people will need to have that later. So I'll keep those on the buy standpoint. Yo! Still doing this a little bit. I'm just probably going to make a handful of trades. Maybe between Gen 2 as well. And then I think that's going to be it. I think that's it for progress today. Yeah. I've kind of gotten used to it. Though I think I'm essentially like sort of not speed running, but I'm working through this sort of project quickly. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I do realize that I'm not like, you know, I'm not the most charismatic kind of guy that could probably go on for like a large audience for this many streams. That's true. Remember when they had that policy and then they immediately like rescinded it like the next couple hours? Actually, I was not even the next day. I think the next few hours. Like in a way, I almost kind of like appreciate the openness of it. It's just the fact that it's like the fact that there's no verification of any kind. You know, like if this was like an 18 or older site, not necessarily not safe for work, just, you know, a site that had like strict guidelines on that, you know, that'd be one thing. It's just it didn't. It still doesn't have like very strict guidelines. So in I think 2 weeks, I'm going to a convention, and I went there last year. Last year was like a ton of fun. I got like a friend and one of my cousins to join. My friend was already like in the community. My cousin just kind of like, I just told him it was like a very like queer fun thing. He's like, oh yeah, I'm down. Okay. So do I. I wish I could like actually afford some kind of suit, but like, I don't know, man. It's like super expensive. Oh yeah, dude, stickers? Everyone loves stickers these days, I find. So for those of you keeping track at home, why? You know what's so weird? I have such bad posture. While I work, because I like, you know, tutor, so I sit down a lot. Probably sit down hunched over just a little bit. The wrong way, of course. And as soon as I do that, like once I get back home, there's also a car ride, so that could also play a factor. But, like, my shoulders just can't work. They're killing me every time. Both shoulders. My right one a little more than my left, but still both pretty bad. But sitting, like, practically, like, half laying over so much of the day right now for this, like, stream. Doesn't matter. It's fine. My back's fine. My shoulders are fine. Everything's okay. Anyway, wow, yeah. Yeah, 62. Pretty impressive. Think I'm gonna call it there. I don't know if I'm going to do off-stream trades, because I mean, then I can listen to music and, like, you know, stuff like that.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Though I'm not going to. I don't want to collect anything I haven't already. I'm just gonna trade between some generations, just so that they have sort of a handful of other things. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm surprised you're still here. Thanks, you too. Sorry, I know it wasn't like a super exciting one, but pretty zen, and I appreciate the company. Happy a few people dropped by in the course of the while.